I have no idea how you find on sale dates for cars.
They just
Like
show up.
they just seem to show up. So I'm driving down the road the other day, and I sent you a text about it, so you know what
Hmm.
I'm about to say. I'm driving down
Hmm.
the road, and then it's not really my neighbor. It's down like 2 minutes drive from my house. There's an Ionic 9
Hmm.
sitting in somebody's driveway like it ain't no thing. And
Hmm.
I'm like, when did those come out?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's a thing. I know it exists. I know some of the specs on it.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, what is that? Like, as soon as I saw it, I knew what it was.
I'm like,
But
oh, that's on sale now.
yeah, so I've Googled it right before the show. I don't know. There's no answer comes out. It's not like iPhones where everybody knows the on sale date of like the iPhone, whatever we're on, 28. I don't know what number we're on. Not an iPhone person, but everybody knows the date,
Hmm.
you know? And you know not to buy one before a certain date, whatever. So anyway, long story short, Ionic 9 is on the road. I see one of my neighbors' driveway, which is how I learn about cars going on sale because I found I sent you a picture however long ago it was of another person down the other way in my neighborhood that got not the
Escalade
Silverado.
IQ.
No, no, that was another one, but the GMC
Sierra
Sierra
EV.
EV that I sent you that picture and you were like, those aren't for sale yet, are they? And I'm like, well, here we go. Like my neighbor's got one. Paper plates in the on the truck. Like I
So,
completely
so
missed
who
it.
is the neighborhood sleuth of suburban Southern California?
Well, that's me. I'm Phil Royle. I have been doing content like this for millennia. And
Nice. New one.
yes. But mostly I push people toward youtube.com/ at the walk car where you can see our smiling faces. You'll also want to go perhaps to thewalkcar.com and also thewalkcar.com/store, which I will take down shortly. I keep threatening it. And there you can buy some of the things that we're wearing that you will see on the youtube.com/ at the walk car.
Until you can't.
Until, yeah, you can buy it until you can't. So limited edition. And I couldn't tell you when the for sale date was or when they are going away on any of these products, but they are on sale and they will go away at some point.
Ed Sanchez. Here, I'll throw a curveball. Quarter century of automotive content creation and moderation. Current full-time job. Well, for now, automotive electronics industry analyst. Until we're all replaced by AI, right? Anyway,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Optimus
and
could do our job. I mean, let's be serious.
and the Watt Car co-founder and contributor.
I say Optimus, but really at this point, AI, there is enough back episodes. So we're on episode 232, which means if we've talked for,
Over 4 years.
yeah, if we've talked for about an hour, well, this show used to be like an hour and a half.
We decided that was too tedious. It was a
Way too
chore,
much.
as one of our YouTube commenters said.
Yeah, recently noted it that we're a chore. I hope that person's still listening and doing their
Hope
chores.
so.
I don't remember where I was off to with my aside. We've got a grab bag today, a
Yes.
veritable grab bag, which we looked at. We tried to organize what order we're going to talk about things, and don't expect that this week.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of everything.
Yes, it's a did I already say smorgasbord? A hodgepodge,
Smorgasbord. I
a
like cornucopia personally.
cornucopia crapshoot. Um,
Well, that's another way to put it. So, I would say most, not all, but most OEMs and brands out there have at least one EV in their lineup, but there are a few that don't, surprisingly. You care to guess which one of those might be?
Well, I mean, based on what our first topic is Bentley, so I would imagine it's Bentley.
Ta-da, winner. Yeah.
I wouldn't have been
So,
able to guess that before though, because I just don't think of Bentley. Like, I like Bentleys. They're neat. They serve a great niche, whatever, but like, I don't know. It's not on my radar.
So one of them that really didn't have anything of note was Bentley, but they've shown their first EV concept, and it's something. I'm not exactly sure what to make of it. It's I don't know. It's My reaction was similar to when I saw the Jaguar. Was it the 00 or whatever?
Hmm. Yeah, I don't remember if that
I
was what
was
it was called, but
like,
the Jag concept that they had, yeah.
yeah. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, that's a thing. Um,
That exists. That's
that
burned
exists.
in my eyeballs.
I'm not sure what I think of this. It's
And there's no information
yeah.
on this. We'll
No,
have a link in the show notes.
it's
You can check
purely
it out.
concept, and I think even in the press release, they admit the interior shots are AI generated.
Because we can all tell by looking at it.
Yeah.
They're AI
So,
generated. So they
um,
say 3-seat layout.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
it'll
four
be
if you include the dog bed, I guess.
yeah, styling inspired by 1930 Bentley Speed 6 3-seater. Because this is a 3-seater. Did I already say
Yeah.
that? I don't remember. I'm just speaking at this point. Words are flowing out of my mouth, and I'm not paying attention to them. No powertrain information other than quote effortless performance. I mean, but that like Bentley Rolls Royce, that's always kind of been what it's. If you count performance as acceleration,
Hmm.
that's what they're known for.
Well,
Is
and plus, kind of to your point that we've said many, many times, it's not hard to make an EV fast.
yeah, and these cars don't need to stop or turn because even the gas-powered versions of these things are like 8,000 pounds. They've never
Almost.
been big at anything like any kind of performance, like turning, but acceleration-wise, they'll get you where you're going
Yeah.
quickly, effortlessly, no fatigue. You just tell Jeeves where to take you, and off you go. So the design of this, it's funny you mentioned Jag because I think they would have been better releasing Jag's design for this.
Yeah.
This is beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But I don't think there are going to be very many beholders that think that this is like an amazingly beautiful Bentley. This seems like they called it in.
It's so the back, the rear looks like a Polestar to me. The front, I can't. It either looks like a Chinese like
That's really
no
good.
name like luxury brand, or
From like
or
from the
maybe
20
like
teens. From the
an
20 teens. That's
yeah,
what this is
or
like.
like an maybe kind of an Escalade-ish front end. I
If
don't
they
know.
kidneyed those front grills, this could be a BMW 7
Yeah,
Series,
the
I guess, folks.
grill looks like a massive exaggeration of a BMW grill. And that's
Yeah.
saying something because the current BMW grills are massive exaggeration.
Somebody at BMW right now is
So,
like, darn it, Bentley just did
yeah,
our next grill
so
before us.
um yeah, it's kind of a
The
fastback coupe, but very kind of blocky and kind of tankish. I don't know.
the interior is average, I guess. It's like what
It's
you would expect from a dashboard of any modern EV.
yeah, it's okay. And again, the dog bed. I don't know if you noticed that.
I don't really know where the dog bed is. So the back has like you open the fastback and then some like tailgate seats pop out that I don't really completely understand because I don't know, it's kind of low brow sitting on your tailgate drinking your champagne, but
I
it's
guess
also got a champagne holder.
if you're a rich redneck.
uh, so we're in agreement. This is
I'm
kind of a swing and a miss.
Well, I mean, well, again, just a concept. So that's not to say the production model is going to look exactly like this. And indications are the production version of the Jag EV is not going to look exactly like the concept.
What?
Similar, but
Yeah.
not the same. So I, I mean, I'm definitely not in this car's demographic. I'm sure this is going to be at a minimum $250,000, if not 300,000.
Yeah.
So I'm not the target buyer for this. So they probably don't care what my opinion is. But for what it's worth, I can't say I'm a huge fan.
No, I'm curious what the Bentley buyers how they'll take this. Like I can't imagine that they are big into the engine displacement and the engine sound and all of that. They're more,
I
I
would
would
say Bentley
imagine.
more than Rolls Royce,
Yeah, but I think
but yeah,
if you're buying a Bentley, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's not your only car. You
No.
probably have a sports car for your weekend drives or whatever it is. You probably have a Lamborghini or Ferrari or Porsche, something. You've got some other vehicle. So I don't think they're going to care about the lack of pistons and the lack of the sound.
Yeah, but on the same token, and this is a larger, we could almost do a whole other episode on this. I think when you're talking about like the higher six-figure luxury class, those buyers, they see, I think they somehow see EVs as a capitulation to
The man.
like mundane concerns about the environment. And they kind of have like an FU attitude. It's like, I'm going to drive what I want. I'll burn whatever fuel I want. I can afford it. I don't care. So in that class, and I would say the 100, I'm just going to throw a figure out there. I want to say 150,000 plus class. There's not, and I've heard, no one's like straight out like said it on the record, but I've read a lot of stories where whether you're talking dealers, product planners, whatever, they're like, there's zero demand for ultra high end EVs.
Apparently, there's a demand for like an oldie time lantern in the back of the car, though, because that's what Bentley's put in.
Yeah. So I think this is kind of one of those things where they're just saying, certain people are asking us, we have regulatory pressures that may force us to do this. Here's kind of what we're thinking. But I will, I don't want to be throwing shade on the Celestic, which we have repeatedly anyway, but I'm coming full circle with this. The point of reference I really want to highlight though is the Rolls-Royce Spectre. And I think that works well because it looks like a Rolls-Royce. It looks a lot like the what's the coupe? I want to say Phantom. I'm not sure if that's the right.
I mean, there is a Phantom. Whether it's what you're talking about, I don't know.
Well,
It's because this is a whole world that I'm just not like.
It's the Rolls with the big.
Yeah.
It's the two-door with the big big suicide doors. Anyway, I think it's the Phantom. Anyway, it looks, for all intents and purposes, to me almost the same as that. The Phantom, I think. You can correct me if I'm wrong, which I'm sure you will.
I'm looking up a picture, but not being a Rolls-Royce owner, I also have a really old computer that operates slowly.
You still got the.
Yeah, we do this on dial-up, by the way. So it doesn't matter. The Phantom looks to be like a four-door with the suicide doors at the front.
It's not that.
It's, the
Ghost, or
Cullinan
I don't know.
Ghost as a ghost. There's
No, whatever the two-door is, and they haven't made it for a couple of years. Anyway, the Spectre looks like its ICE predecessor.
yeah.
So it's not too much of a jump, And I think it might even be as much as someone goes into the showroom. They're three, they've had their whatever for 3 years. They look at that. Ooh, that looks cool. What's that? And blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, it's electric. Oh, that's okay. I like how it looks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of one of those deals. Whereas I think the Bentley is trying too hard to try to look like futuristic and edgy. And it just looks really awkward to me.
Yeah.
That's my main takeaway from this. So I think Rolls did it right with the Spectre. This EXP15, not feeling it.
Yeah, just looking through Bentley's lineup, I don't really like any of their cars right now. The Continental GT is kind of cool, but boy, this is definitely not as good as some of those other designs. Let's move on.
Oh, the one I was thinking of was I think it was the Wraith.
I mean, that's a model as well.
Yeah. And before that, it was there was a Phantom Coupe. But I think the last ICE coupe Rolls made was the Wraith. Anyway,
the company that owns Bentley, and I don't know how company structures work, but Volkswagen ultimately, so I've been seeing a bunch of ID buzzes around my neighborhood recently, like a ton, like way more than I thought for a $70,000 minivan.
Well,
I've
but
been
you do
seeing,
live in coastal Southern California.
yes, in the suburbs, and there's a lot of entertainment industry people, a lot of money. I
Yeah.
accidentally ended up living here. So, of all of the buzzes that I've seen
Hmm.
around, apparently
Hmm.
I've seen all of the ones that I'm going to see for a while because
Uh, Sounds like it
they're not coming in. They're stopping
because
importing them.
of big, beautiful tariffs, evidently. And even without the tariffs, these were not cheap.
No,
So these were 70,000 plus.
yeah, and they don't look. I mean, they look great, but they look great for like a $45,000 minivan.
50, even at 50, I'd say you could make a case. And you say, okay, because I mean, a loaded Odyssey or Sienna is going to be about that much.
Yeah. So, comparable. What
Yeah.
I just look at these and I'm like, I'd not be spending $70,000 on something like this. And I like them. I
Yeah.
like them. I like almost everything about them.
Yeah. Except the price.
And the price is just that's
Yeah.
it's just a step too far for me.
Yeah.
Ultimately it's the hardest step. I can get
Yeah.
over an ugly car if the price is good.
So I actually read a little bit of the backstory on this about
Hmm.
specifically why they're built in Germany. So I guess at one point there was some consideration of building it in Chattanooga, but um, so I guess they decided to give this project to their commercial vehicles division that also does the transporter, which was sold in the U.S. for a while as a Eurovan, but that's been kind of a mainstay of their European lineup for decades. Um, and so and I guess the commercial factory is in Hanover, Germany. And I guess through the union negotiations and whatever, they were like, well, we want new product. We want to ensure employment for our workers, blah, blah, blah. So I think boardroom politics and back and forth, they said, okay, we'll make the buzz in Germany. But I think there originally was consideration to build it in Chattanooga, which possibly could have avoided the tariff situation. And possibly they could have sold it for a slightly lower price too. But anyway, uh, if they
Tis what it
could
is.
still, yeah, they still could decide to do it. But my guess is it would be probably 2 or 3 years before they could transition production to Chattanooga.
I wonder how many
So
they've got on dealer lots at this point. If it just is non like a non-issue. If they were going to do a transition, these things aren't going to be selling like hotcakes. They will have already sold the initial.
yeah,
The people who are
well,
going to buy them have probably already bought them, and then at this point, it's people coming in off dealer lots
I would
to
guess there are
buy them.
pockets of popularity for this. Southern California being one of them.
Yeah,
Possibly like the Northeast, like New England, Vermont, Hamptons, something like that. Maybe Seattle, something like that. The rest of the country, I don't. That I mean, I'm sure a lot of people say, "Oh, that looks cool." Then they look at the price tag and they're like, "Oh, no, thanks."
yeah,
Um, so my guess is they're if anything, they might be a little misallocated. Like there may be few sitting in lots in like Nebraska and Oklahoma and Kentucky, and they're just kind of sitting there gathering dust. Whereas they're back ordered in Southern California. So I'm wondering if there's like some horse trading going on where it says, hey, we'll trade you ID4 if you could send me a buzz or whatever.
yeah. No, I
Um,
could see that. I could totally see, them just looking at the numbers and saying we can just shuffle. Like, there's probably got a number of dealerships, like I said, in the middle of America that are complaining to corporate saying, you got to get this thing out of here. Like,
yeah,
it's never going to sell. And then they can just run whatever deals they run and then ship it off to my neighborhood. And
yeah,
then some
where
rich
it will,
idiot will buy it.
yeah. So I think I mean, this is a whole conversation about the ID buzz and kind of the early buzz, for lack of a better term,
Hmm.
around it. A lot of excitement. I think certainly the hope that it would be about $50,000, which didn't happen. So,
I bet like 15 years
yeah.
ago when we saw the first concept of this, I bet it was supposed to be $50,000.
Well, yeah. I mean, there is inflation too, but I, I, I hope it comes back in some form. But yeah, for now, it's kind of on pause for the U.S. So, anyway,
Yeah.
speaking of vehicles going to certain markets, um, we have another kind of twist in the saga, and I'm sure this is over time. This could be a significant market. Right now, it's smallish. even though ironically it's the most populous country in the world.
Hmm.
And this has been rumored for years and years and years, but I guess it's now finally official. So Tesla now officially has a presence in India.
They've been talking about this for a while
Yeah,
now, as
yeah.
far as I'm aware, and all of it kind of hinged on
Local
Tesla
production.
building production facility in India. And then Elon Musk said, let us bring the cars in while we're building a production facility. Let us bring in the
Yeah.
cars. And I believe that there was some, like they must have agreed to that or something because they've not built a facility there, have they?
No, no. And as far as I know, there's no official announcement about a manufacturing presence there.
Which I
Um,
believe I said at the time when we
yeah,
originally reported on this. And if I didn't, I thought it of you just want to get your foot in the door. That's all Elon's
yeah,
thinking of is
yeah.
you convince them that you're going to build something there. They let the
Hmm.
cars in and then you just never build the thing. Maybe you buy some land and maybe you put up a pole and then over the course of the next 10
Yeah,
years, if it makes sense,
yeah,
okay, you build it. Otherwise, you just stall, stall,
yeah.
stall. You show a little bit
Well,
of commitment, but you could run that thing out for 15 years.
yeah.
Call the
So
environmental people on yourself to investigate some weird frog or something that you found on
yeah,
the premises. And, how long did it take them in Germany with all of the like environmental?
yeah, but that I don't think that was Tesla imposed. That was
No, but it showed that they could, if you want to delay something,
yeah,
it is possible for it to
yeah.
be delayed.
So no official word on manufacturing there. So just a little context on this. India for decades has had a very, very protectionist trade policy, whereas basically any foreign brand, any foreign automaker, electronics, I mean, you name it,
Yeah, I've always heard it with phones there.
yeah, that they slap huge tariffs. I mean, you want to talk about tariffs? India's had some whoppers, with the exception or the let's make a deal kind of trade off of if you build it locally, you build it domestically, we'll give you a break. But any kind of direct imports were had insanely high tariffs. So this is actually less than it might have been in the past. So like imported cars had like over 100% tariff in a lot of cases. So this isn't quite that bad, but it's not. It's still fairly high. So I guess your base rear wheel drive Model Y starts at the equivalent of 70,000 US dollars. So that's about 25 grand more than the equivalent model in the US. So it's still expensive. Um, so this isn't exactly the car for the masses there, even though, India has a fairly large and growing, middle class, upper middle class. Um, so it's not a big surprise. The first two showrooms are going to be in Mumbai and Delhi, the two major population and kind of business centers in India. Um, so anyway, there's that. I guess initially they're going to be coming from China, but I guess the India and EU are trying to work out a trade deal. And once that gets finalized, I guess the plan is to bring the Model Ys in from Germany. So
I
anyway,
just looked up what is EV penetration in India because I have no idea.
yeah,
And so I haven't vetted this site. This is just kind of what came up.
yeah,
Is they are at about 7 to 8% right now of, I would assume, new vehicle sales.
yeah.
It is going up, but uh, their goal is a 2030 by 2030 to be 30% EV sales.
It's ambitious.
Yeah, if you're if you're 5 years away and
Yeah,
you're at 7 to 8%, so that may have had some impact on
yeah.
India,
And
kind
also
of stepping back from that
another,
production facility thing that they were trying to get Tesla to do.
yeah,
Because if you want to increase number of EVs, you bring Tesla in. Like that's
yeah.
been a proven success everywhere they go.
Well, and the other thing, and again, this is just kind of an aside. This is very kind of, just commentary. But India has obviously a very well established kind of tech sector. A lot of the big tech companies, US or global tech companies have a presence in India. Ironically, more. kind of more so in South India is kind of the tech hub of the country. So I'm imagining at some point they're probably going to open a showroom in Bangalore. I'm sure. I'm sure that's going to be the third one if there's going to be a third one.
And I could
Um,
see EV
yeah.
adoption increasing there significantly once they realize that there is like vehicle to home connectivity,
Hmm. Hmm.
where when your scam call center goes down with, you can plug your car in and power the call center and
Or
still
to
scam
help
people.
with the notorious rolling blackouts of which there are
Oh,
many.
there's that.
Yeah.
I'm
So
thinking more of the
actually,
bread and
I
butter.
think Tesla's bigger opportunity in India might be the power walls
Hmm.
potentially, or the mega packs, because yeah, India's electricity infrastructure is notoriously unreliable. So who knows? I don't know what their longer term strategy is in India, but power actually would not be a bad thing to invest in there. But so anyway, Tesla is in India. It's where Tesla is kind of on the slide, I guess, is in the U.S. And maybe that's not exactly breaking news.
Yeah,
Um,
tell me something I don't know.
yeah, but this surprised
But
me.
this
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 kind of surprised me. I don't know
Okay,
what
I'm
your
glad it
thoughts
surprised
were.
you because it
Yeah,
surprised me. And I don't know if it surprises me in, wow, Lucid's doing great, or in, wow,
Tesla's doing really
Tesla's really
bad.
doing bad. And I don't know which side this falls on. Because ultimately, we're talking about sedans which don't sell in America.
Yeah, expensive
So
sedans
so the
on top of
race,
that.
it's a
Yeah,
race to the bottom between the Lucid Air and the Model S. And so far, at least for, is it Q2,
I think it's
Tesla is
Q2
winning.
and cumulatively for the year.
Tesla is winning the race to the bottom
Yeah,
between the Air and the Model
yeah,
S, because Lucid has now outsold them
yeah.
by what they sold 10 versus
20. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean we're not talking huge. We're not talking like Rav4 or even Model Y numbers.
Or you mean we're not talking Model Y or even RAV4, since now
Or even
RAV4
Rav4 numbers.
outsells.
Yeah. So I guess Lucid sold 2,630 Airs in Q2. That's up 10% from the previous year. Um, I guess cumulatively, they're up to a little over 5,000 units. Tesla, on the other hand, 1,435 during the first quarter. Um, that's 71% fewer than Q2 2024. And through the first half of the year, they're at 2,715. So
So Lucid
almost
sold
2 to 1.
yeah, Lucid sold in Q2 what Tesla sold in the first half. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
that's what it's looking like.
Why is that? Is this the Elon effect, which used to be a good thing? Now it's a
Yeah,
bad
I
thing.
mean, I think that's part of it. I think there's probably growing awareness of Lucid as a brand among those shoppers in that, you know, uh, market segment. Um, I
Do you
mean,
think this
yeah,
also, though, could be Tesla doesn't redesign vehicles? And I say that right
mhm.
after they've redesigned the 3 and the Y. But
Yeah, but they're more. I would
traditionally,
say they're more evolutionary, even
yes,
at
it's
that.
a facelift. It's what for
Yeah.
most companies, what most automotive companies would do at the 4-year mark,
Hmm.
Tesla does at the uh, 8.
Well, for the Model Y, it is around 4 years.
Okay, so there it was
But
on,
for the Model 3, it was a little overdue,
yeah.
arguably.
And
Yeah.
they've really not, they've done minor facelifts
Hmm.
on the Model S. And the reason that manufacturers do like this mid model refresh and then a whole new, quote unquote new, which Toyota is
Hmm.
famous for saying,
Hmm.
like, the all new Camry, and then the reality is
It's a grill,
it really is just a
new
grill. Even
colors.
yeah, that but they still call it all new, and
Yeah.
people go out and buy it. So part of why they do these refresh cycles is to get people to buy a new vehicle, because you don't want to
Hmm.
be caught driving the old vehicle, of course, heaven
Hmm.
forbid.
Hmm.
And I think for most vehicles, that doesn't really matter. I think that's why the average age of a vehicle on the road is 12 years or 13 years,
Hmm.
whatever it
Hmm.
is now. I think most people, they buy a vehicle, they drive it for a long time. You don't really care what it looks like.
Hmm.
But when you get into high end sedans,
Hmm.
$100,000 plus sedans, I think there is a clientele that likes
New
to be
shiny.
seen driving the newest thing. And
Hmm.
when everybody back to 2012 is driving the same Model S as you, I mean, okay, the nose is different.
Hmm.
Big whoop. Most people can't
Yeah.
tell.
Well,
So
even the current model, the current look goes back to 2016.
it's like,
Yeah.
so if you're in that market and you are that crowd that wants
Hmm.
to be seen in the newer thing, which I would say $100,000 plus
Yeah.
sedans, that's your market, is the wealthy people that want the new shiny thing.
Hmm.
They've gone out and they've looked at the Lucid Air and said, well, that's a new look.
Hmm.
So I'll buy that. And if Lucid doesn't redesign their car in the next 4 years and do some kind of facelift or three
Hmm.
years or whatever they
They're
need to
going to be the
do,
same boat.
they're going to be in the same boat. Yeah. And they might not be able to afford to do a redesign. Tesla
Hmm.
can afford to. They're choosing not to, and they're just throwing away the Model
Hmm.
S. Now, the
Hmm.
flip side to that is nobody buys sedans in America. Why
Yeah.
would you invest in this? It's a
Yeah.
dying thing. Oddly enough, it's my favorite Tesla.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So,
mine too, if I could afford it. Yeah. I mean, my guess for, I mean, again, this is just kind of going kind of off into the margins with commentary here. My guess is
don't do that.
oh, heaven forbid. The next iteration of the Air is probably going to take a lot of the stuff from the Gravity and apply it to that. I mean, but a lot of that is kind of under the skin.
Mhm.
I mean,
Well, and it's
terms of the,
downgrading, isn't it, essentially? Didn't the gravity
not
take it
really.
simplified the things? It took,
Well, I know, but this is the thing though, is if that's if that's under the skin below the surface, but the user interface, the user experience is the same or enhanced, who cares? Because from a manufacturing standpoint, you want to reduce complexity.
yeah.
And if you could reduce complexity, reduce um, potential failure points, or streamline manufacturing without it affecting the user experience, that's a win-win.
So you're kind of saying
Yeah.
the gravity is the redesign interior wise of the Air. We just don't know it, and then they'll reskin the Air and they'll call it an all new Air.
I think with I don't know what my guess would be, maybe like 2027. The 2027 refresh of the Air or whatever it is will draw a lot from the Gravity in
Yeah.
terms of design, certainly in terms of engineering, manufacturing. A lot of the learnings they had from the Air, or excuse me, from the Gravity, they'll apply to the Air. And then also Lucid's also working on a mid-size kind of Model Y-ish kind of model. Um, so that's going to be like kind of the step Rivian's doing from the R1 to the R2, reducing costs, reducing complexity. Um, so yeah, so I think Lucid's aware, but good for Lucid, because I think from an engineering standpoint, I would almost make the case in certain, not necessarily across the board, but in certain areas, I would say Lucid is now kind of the standard setter in the EVs, in the EV world.
I don't think you can look at, maybe it's different driving them back to back. I haven't driven
Mm-hmm.
them back to, like, I don't know. But on paper,
Mm-hmm.
Lucid's got the advantage like everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
especially
well,
if
from performance standpoint.
from performance, range, efficiency,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
you could.
hard to beat an Air. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you're looking at, but if you're looking at, charging experience, user interface, this or that, you could make the case Tesla has a little bit of an edge
but
because,
isn't Lucid? I assume Lucid is going. They must have made the announcement. I don't remember. Information comes in one ear and goes out the other. They're going to
Mhm.
NACS, I assume, at this point. I mean,
well,
if
yeah.
they're not, they're
So,
dead.
so that
So,
that
so the
that
charging experience difference is gone.
yeah, so that advantage that Tesla did have is effectively disappearing, as it is pretty much across the
I
industry.
wonder if, I'm not saying Tesla's going to fail, but if we're going to look back in 10 years and you're going to see a slump in Tesla, and I wonder if that slump is not necessarily going to be attributed to Elon. I think Elon is a blip. Like, it's a big blip, but I think
Hmm.
his
Hmm.
political affiliation and what
Hmm.
he's cost the company will ultimately, it'll correct itself fairly quickly. I think that's going
Hmm.
to be a blip.
Hmm.
I wonder if a big downturn that we're going to experience is them signing the NACS deal and opening that up to everybody. And that's going to be the real trough of Tesla while they try to figure out who they are as a company, because who they've been as a company has been exactly what you said, just this great, wonderful experience of this
Walled
walled
garden. Yeah.
garden of the
Yeah.
charging. You plug it in and everything works. And once everybody's got that, Tesla's big advantage Like if somebody came to
Disappears,
me
yeah.
and said, "I'm looking at a Model S or a Lucid Air,"
Say wait till next year.
uh, if the Air has got NACS, I would say go and drive an Air, like drive
Yeah.
both, but look at the
Yeah.
Air because it is on paper, it is every bit superior to the
Hmm.
Model S.
Hmm.
It's whether or not you like it, it's just
Yeah.
personal
Subjective. Yeah.
preference at that point. But you asked me that question 3 years ago
Hmm.
before anybody jumped over to NACS and started making those deals, and it would have been hands down you go with the Model S, or
Model
else
S. Yeah.
your experience
Yeah.
of ownership that includes
Hmm.
the charging is going to suck the second that
Hmm.
you leave your
Hmm.
driveway.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
I think
Well,
this
but
is the long story that we're seeing that we'll talk about when we're on episode
okay,
2000.
but do you remember? But you know, if you remember, like whether or not this is even still a thing, Tesla's original mission statement, or one of them, was to accelerate the world to renewable energy,
Mm-hmm.
and I think as part of that grow, like I guess as part of that larger vision is grow the EV market.
Mm-hmm.
So from that standpoint, NACS, you know, is a huge contributing factor to that.
Yeah, but
You
they've
know,
proven time and time again that they don't believe in that mission statement to the point that they even removed the mission statement. They got rid
well,
of all of this
that's true.
stuff
That's true. But
and
I mean,
gone after
so
other companies. And they like their mission statement sounded good at the time. And then I think they realized that they were doing too many
yeah.
things contrary to it.
Well,
So they just remove it. So that the whole idea of like,
I
I
think
don't know.
NACS is kind of like a Pyrrhic. I don't know if I'm even saying it right. The Pyrrhic victory. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like I've won, but at what cost?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we could go on. You talk about a whole episode. We could go through the like grand
Yeah.
master plan and the mission statements and just
How they failed,
how not
or unintended consequences.
unintended, but more of how it was the right thing for them to say at the right time. But
Hmm.
you will have a different belief, which is why it might be a good
Hmm.
episode.
Hmm.
Is you will have a very different belief from me because my belief is they said what companies say what they need to say at the time in
To
order
placate investors. Yeah.
and make money and pump the stock and do all these things that they need to do. And as soon as it isn't convenient, they jump ship.
Change their
And
tune.
and
Yeah.
so you look at all the things that Tesla's done, and you're more in the camp of, well, okay, yeah, they pulled it, but uh, their intent was good. My argument is they never had the intent.
Hmm.
Their intent was profit.
Hmm.
So
Market share.
it
Yeah.
really like I we've got a couple episodes coming up in the next month or so where we need to pre-record
Yeah.
just for listeners so they know. I will write that down. I think that would
Yeah.
actually be a
Yeah.
pretty interesting episode to go through just
Yeah.
because we are very different in our view of Tesla, even though we both believe that Tesla is like the
Yeah.
best EV company that's on the market.
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay, my
Yeah.
gosh,
We're going a little long here.
we're gonna have to zip through Ionic
Speaking about
6N.
sedans
Yeah.
that no one likes, evidently, Ionic 6N has finally been unveiled.
Now we knew all
And
of this stuff, didn't we?
yeah, so
Uh,
it's pretty much what we expected. Basically,
really
the
fast, 0
Ionic
to 60.
5N powertrain in a sedan.
Yeah,
So a
0 to
little
60,
lighter, a little
3.2 seconds.
cheaper.
Yeah. It was I believe this one, or a
Goodwood.
trimmed out version, was at Goodwood
Yeah,
doing some donuts in the area where you're not allowed to do donuts. It's sweet. I like
yeah,
it. I
yeah.
really like it.
Well, I mean, I'm still a little ambivalent about the Ionic 6 in general. I mean, we've gone back and forth about it. It's I think it's kind of a little bit designed from the outside in. It's
Hmm.
a very distinctive look.
Yeah.
Um,
Modded,
it's
like the N
yeah,
looks fantastic. The
yeah,
stock 6 is like,
eh,
eh.
yeah. No, this is pretty cool, and this has the new updated like thin LED headlights, which I kind of like. I mean, it looks a little more futuristic and edgy. I don't know what your thoughts are, but
Wow, I think it's a win. If you like this, you're looking for options to Tesla. I
yeah,
think this is a win.
yeah,
There's no way around it. All right, another car that's a win, but will never come here.
yes,
Mercedes-Benz CLA shooting brake. Now,
IE wagon.
the problem that all automotive journalists have is that
They all love wagons.
we all love wagons. And the problem that wagons have is that they don't
They
sell in
don't sell.
America. Even when sedans were selling here, when we weren't a minivan market that then turns into
SUV
a
market.
SUV market, even before that, the wagons never sold here.
Yeah.
And so now they're making this, what do you write? 85
Is
kilowatt hour battery, 268 horsepower, 247 pound-feet of torque. You can get 249 horsepower if you want, through 200
three
miles of
three
range. Oh no, that's 200 miles of range in 10 minutes. Pretty
oh
sweet.
for yeah, charging. Yeah.
Yep.
No,
Charging,
total
yes.
range is more than that, but
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah. So cool looking, but to your point, we'll probably never see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Okay, LFP battery packs. This was the big, like, oh, the Chinese are coming. Da, da,
Hmm.
da, and they have a lock on this. Ironically, LFPs were originally developed in the U.S. I think John Goodenough, who passed, I think last year, anyway, was involved in the development of LFP.
Which
Anyways,
is
yeah,
super ironic with his name
yeah,
and the technology
good
of
enough.
LFP. Because it's good enough.
It's good.
That's
Well, no, it's a good balance of
yes.
reliability, longevity, cost.
Yeah. His
So yeah,
name sums
that
up
is
LFP
that
perfectly.
is kind of ironic, but anyway, so I guess GM is going to start building them domestically because for a while, almost all of the LFPs were coming from China, and most of them still do. But I guess GM is getting together with LG Energy, who they originally partnered with for the Ultium cells. I
Hmm.
guess we're not using that term
Yeah,
anymore,
don't
but
call it
yeah,
Altium.
yeah. Anyway, so they're going to start building these in Tennessee, presumably for the kind of the lower cost models like the Bolt, maybe the lower trim Equinox, so forth. Um, and this is kind of an interim step. I guess they're also developing what they call LMR batteries, which are lithium manganese rich, which I think is kind of a halfway between LFP and NMC, but they use less cobalt and nickel, which are kind of the you know ethically questionable elements
Yeah.
in EV batteries. So they're trying to kind of minimize the use of that.
No,
So also,
right now, if I were to buy a brand new EV, but I'm a nerd, I'd buy one with an LFP battery. I'd be
yeah,
that weirdo that's shopping based on, I'd make a chart of what's got an LFP option, and then I would see what car I want second based on that, just because of the abuses that take place for the
yeah.
mining of some of the materials. Like, it's just awful.
Interesting side note: if so the range is degrading on my 2019 Model 3. I don't
Are
know,
you sure that it's not the way you drive it? Are you sure?
probably the way I drive it too, but so if I were to need a new pack, the replacement pack on mine would be LFP. So if my battery conks out or gets below the 70%
Hmm.
whatever, they would replace it with an LFP. And honestly, I wouldn't be upset about it because there is a little bit of a trade-off. It's like I think 200 or 300 pounds heavier, but we're talking about EVs, so they're kind of heavy anyway. And interestingly, I guess they'd have to replace the rear springs. So part
Hmm.
of the battery upgrade on my generation of Model 3s is in addition to replacing the pack, they put, I guess, heavier duty springs in the back to compensate for the weight.
Yeah,
But I
that
mean,
makes sense.
I'd gain life expectancy. I'd gain range because the newer packs are 270 something miles. Mine new was 240 and it's no longer that.
Is
But
your car under warranty? Yours is 2019 Model 3?
battery, the rest
Okay.
is bumper to bumper is expired, but battery I think is 150 or 7 years. So I'm coming up on the years faster than I am
Better
the
get depleting that battery quick.
well,
Yeah.
just floored, I guess, huh? Anyway, so speaking of which, a longtime Tesla partner, Panasonic, who's made my original battery pack, they're opening what's they're claiming to be the quote world's largest battery cell plant in Kansas. Now, this is a single site. Supposedly, there are bigger complexes in China that are consist of like multiple buildings, but I guess is the biggest battery plant under one roof. I guess is going to be in Kansas,
And it's an area
outside
that
of
I've
Kansas
driven
City.
by multiple times.
Yeah.
No
So
idea. I had to look up where it was. I was like, ah, I've driven that road. I
yeah.
know
So
exactly
anyway,
where that is.
a couple. I guess Lucid is also a big buyer of Panasonic cells. In addition, to Tesla, and I guess supposedly Mazda just inked a deal with them, which
Hmm.
we know they're a huge volume player in EVs. So
Yeah,
that's
no,
a that's a
that's
big
the
win
real
there.
cash cow right
So
there. Is the Mazda contract.
so anyway, we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, I think we're gonna call that an episode. What do you think?
Yeah. that the Panasonic, and then Tesla's opened a battery plant, an LFP plant, and that was made the news somewhere. That wasn't.
Yeah, I remember that too, but I can't remember where or who with.
But I had actually people like ask me about that, and I'm like,
Oh, really?
yeah. I'm
Hmm.
like, why are you asking about battery stuff? Like I was vaguely aware of it, but I'm like,
I'll have to go back and look up on that, but yeah, I do remember reading about that, but yeah,
yeah.
the details escape me for some reason.
Now we're getting back to like the nerdy part. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
like dust off our nerd hats and dive
Nerd.
back into battery because we used to
I
with
think we need to have a chart that just says hat that just says nerd
nerd.
with a little lightning bolt.
Yeah. All right. Everything we talked about will be in the show notes. The show notes are located in the show, basically. If you subscribe to the audio version on any podcast player, show notes should be there. I mean, I put it in the system. Whether or not it makes it, I don't know. It's not mine to decide. They're also at youtube.com/ at the what car in the description there. There you can like and no, you subscribe and you ring the bell icon and you can comment too. You can do a lot of things there.
Call us a chore.
Call us a chore. YouTube is kind of taken over as the de facto podcast thing. Now, you can actually subscribe to the podcast on YouTube without the video. You don't have to watch the video. There's the video version, which is just talking heads and kind of boring. But there's also the audio version that
You can listen to while doing laundry and other chores.
yes, and other chores. Hello at thewalker.com. No, I don't give that email out. Never mind. Erase that. We'll take that part out in
Just
post.
comment on YouTube.
And thewalker.com/advertise for major companies looking to get involved with us. Who do we bag on this week? Bentley.
There you go.
You can come on in and we'll suddenly say nice things about you because that is the time that we live in.
Yes. And stay tuned. I think we may have a special episode coming up
We're
soon.
working on that.
Working on it.
Possibly an episode where we go through Tesla statements in over the last 15 years or 20 years. I don't know, however long it is that they've been making statements and then redacting them. I'm done. Good night.
All right.
Peace out.
So
See
long.
you later.
Farewell.